film editor Ingmar Bergman, the Swedish one. He's
Director,
I mean, he is saying that he is gonna, when he is dying, he is saying he will not be this, what you say, sometimes the vegetable at the hospital. He would control his own dying process, because you don't want to be this thing. Have you been thinking about your death in the same terms? I mean, you have been talking about.
I would say it's a very problem. Always in the direction of disappearance. It must be an art of appearing and an art of disappearing. And disappearing or death must not be a factual accident. It must be an art. It must be an art of disappearing, and it can have many aspects. Even in writing or in acting or in something like that, but even maybe in on the biological aspects of this. But it must be an art, a seductive way of of retiring of the world. Else it's a very accident, and then it's a real negative death.
I have one last question, and that is about, and maybe you have one. Michel Foucault, he was dying over AIDS, as they say, and he, in a way, what kind of art of disappearance was that? He was, in a way, I mean, Deleuze was writing this book about Foucault, about subjectivity, and so he was, in a way, a kind of other position than your sexuality, pornography, this kind of thing. But have you any thoughts about his aftermath and the way of disappearance of Foucault? Has he disappeared, or is his writing living? What do you think about Michel Foucault? You didn't mention
about Michel Foucault, but it was he took the challenge to death, clear, because he knew about that, and he chose. He made a choice. And in this sense, this is already another way of dying. It's not the. And he did that in the art of discretion, of secret. And it's a very fantastic. I mean, that's one a good way of retiring. And besides, moreover, it was one aspect of the art of disappearing, and to disappear before you die, I would say. To disappear before you have nothing more today to say or to make. And many people, intellectuals too, are already dead, and they are always speaking. Unfortunately for them, that was not the case of Foucault. That's good.
He was a friend of yours, or?
Oh, it's a long story. We were not friends, but as I wrote the text of Oublié Foucault, it was not at the beginning. It was not Oublié Foucault. It was a critique about this book on sexuality. And this article was for the review critic, but they want not to publish. They fear, they were afraid for a reaction of Foucault or something like that. Then they don't publish him. And then they send the text to Foucault, to Deleuze, to many, and all said, no, it must not be published. Except Foucault, that said, I will discuss, we shall speak about that. And we speak about that, and he said, I will answer, I will make an answer. Well, I retired the article for some time too, but never came the answer, and then it worse and worse. And then I take the text again and published him by Galilée, and after that it was very conflictual. But I was not in conflict. It was not an aggression, not at all. But and he had at the beginning a very good reaction. But we also know, right? And the other people in inducted him to make all this, and after that it was very bad, and then there was no relation anymore.
But